Hello everyone, welcome to the episode of Whiteboard series. In this episode, I'm going to explain the divine family. So what do I mean by the divine family? So as we know, whenever a Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, that is a causal being, starts dreaming, he dreams of 14 lokas. Just to recap, the causal realm is the womb of Tripura Sundari, the astral realm is the womb of Kali, the physical realm is the womb of Tripura Bhairavi. Physical realm is made up of Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, that is the body of food and the body of air, and the astral realm is made up of Manomaya Kosha and Vijnanamaya Kosha, that is the body of emotion and the body of intellect, and finally the causal realm is made up of the Anandamaya Kosha, that is the body of bliss. So in the causal realm there lies the causal beings who dream of multiple universes. So every causal being dreams of one strand of universe. So one strand of universe consists of 14 lokas or 14 solar systems. That is, in a universe there are several solar systems, however only 14 are habitable ones. So habitable by living species. So as we know, there are 7 below lokas, that is Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, Patal, and 7 above lokas, that is Bhur, Bhuvah, Swaha, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satya. So earth belongs to the 8th loka, that is below there are 7 lokas, above there are 6 lokas. So earth belongs to the 8th loka and Bhur Loka belongs to the physical realm. That is, physical realm is where all the Maya is vibrating at the frequencies which are receivable by the 5 senses. So now our 5 senses are continuously receiving the input of sight, smell, taste, touch, hearing. So that's why we are able to understand this Bhur Loka. Whereas different solar systems, they vibrate at different frequencies, due to which all solar systems are not visible to the 5 senses. Maybe if you lower down if you tune in to the different lokas, you will see different realms. So it all depends on how you tune in. Currently, now your left brain, right, the Shiva Tattva brain, is tuning into the frequencies of the 5 senses, due to which it is only understanding the Bhur Loka and not the lower lokas. You may be experiencing the lower lokas in dreams, like wet dreams. So whenever you get a lot of sexual dreams, right, that time you may be living a parallel life in a lower loka, like Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal. So in those lower lokas, right, there is a lot of indulgences, like sexual indulgence, money related indulgence, like you are very rich there. So your parallel self, like when a Vishnu dreams, Vishnu meaning you, that is Vishnu meaning a dreamer. So currently now we are all dreaming, due to which we are seeing all these solar systems. So when we dream, right, we are changing the solar systems. That is, currently now when we are dreaming, we are seeing the Bhur Loka. So now also you are dreaming. Now you are not asleep. That is, now you are not in deep sleep, nor you are in a deep wakefulness. That is, when you are in deep sleep, right, then you don't see any dreams. And when you are awake also, you don't see any dreams. Currently, we are dreaming. That is, we are seeing this realm. Whenever we see Maya, that means that we are dreaming. Whereas a rock is in deep sleep. It is not aware of its surrounding. So similarly, Shiva, the Sada Shiva, is completely aware. It is 100% aware. However, it is not dreaming. It is not seeing any Maya. So what it means is, whenever we enter the Maya, that time we see different lokas. And this Maya belongs to our own creation. So when we are the Sada Shiva, we being the Sada Shiva, when we enter the Maya, when we go to sleep, basically Sada Shiva, when he sleeps, he sees the Maya. Sada Shiva, when he is in deep sleep, he is a rock. In the physical realm, he is a rock. Rock meaning no awareness. But when he starts becoming aware, he becomes amoeba, reptile, amphibians, mammals, humans, all the other lower lokas like Pisachinis, Yakshinis, Rakshasas, Asuras. So we go to all the lower lokas once we evolve from the rock. So Sadashiva, when he is in deep sleep, he is a rock. When he is completely awake, he sees nothing. In both scenarios, he sees nothing. That is, when he is in deep sleep also, he sees nothing. When he is completely awake also, he sees nothing. But the difference is, when he is awake, when we are Sadashiva, we are completely aware. However, we are not indulged in Maya. And when we are in the rock form, we are completely not aware, and that's why we don't see any Maya. So that is the difference between a rock and a Sadashiva. Sadashiva is capable of dreaming, but he doesn't dream. So once that part of us, that state of our consciousness starts dreaming, right, it enters the causal realm, that is, we become the causal being, we become the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Then we dream of the 14 lokas. When we dream of the 14 lokas, we enter all those 14 lokas. So we live parallel lives. Basically, our consciousness lives 14 parallel lives. So in the Vaikuntha Loka, we are the Vishnus, we are the Garbhodakshaya Vishnus. In the Tapo Loka meaning the Loka where the Saptarishis are there, we are meditating. We are in Ghor Tapas. That is, we are meditating continuously. We are doing sadhana of the Brahma Vidya. So, there we are meditating as Saptarishis. Every one of us are either of the Saptarishis. So, in Hinduism, right, we ask that what is your Gotra? So, Gotra meaning your ancestral Rishi. So, every one of us, including the foreigners, have a Gotra. But the thing is, the foreigners don't know which Gotra they belong to, whereas the Indians know the bloodline from which Saptarishi they came. So, every one of us have a Saptarishi, that is 7 Rishi. That is Vishwamitra, Vashishta, Atri, Jamadagni. So, there are 7 Saptarishis and we belong to one of them. That is, we, our higher self, our future self, which has gone beyond the space-time, has become a Saptarishi. And is Saptarishi right now also. Since it is beyond space-time, it is a Saptarishi right now also. That is, right now, my parallel self is Atri, because my Gotra is Atri. Similarly, if your Gotra is Vishwamitra or Jamadagni, then that means that you are that Saptarishi in your parallel form. So whenever you dream, if your dream is divine, then you will wake up in that Tapo Loka. But soon you will come back here, because you are invested more in Bhur Loka currently. That is, your left brain is currently evolved in such a way that the left brain being the Shiva Tattva, the logical part of our consciousness, the right brain is the Shakti Tattva, the intuitive part of the consciousness, that is, which indulges. The right brain indulges in receiving the frequencies, whereas the left brain logically decodes it. For example, right now, my right brain is receiving the 5 sensory frequency. It is receiving. And the left brain is analyzing it. It is telling that, my left brain is telling that this is a pen, this is a microphone, this is red color. So my left brain is giving logical reasoning for all the frequencies received. My right brain is just receiving. So if you observe, whenever a person tries DMT or cannabis or something, the right brain starts getting altered. It starts receiving frequencies which are not meant to be received. So we jump to different realms in DMT, LSD, psychedelic trips. We jump to different realms because our right brain starts receiving frequencies of other realms, other lokas, other solar systems. And our left brain, which is not developed enough to understand, gets confused. It is not, because it is not developed enough to understand those frequencies, due to which it becomes confused, it goes insane. So all the mental problems come whenever in psychedelic trips. So that's why we have to reach the other lokas, other solar systems, only through meditation. These solar systems are not visible in telescope. Whatever is visible in telescope, whatever is visible in NASA, ISRO, rocket scientist, everyone, they are only seeing the 5 sensory realm, which everything belongs to Bhur Loka itself, the physical realm itself. It doesn't belong to the other solar systems. So if you want to go to the other solar systems, other lokas, you just have to meditate and tune into that frequency. Your left brain is the tuner, whereas the right brain is the receiver. So right brain receives all the frequency, left brain decodes it. So currently, your left brain is developed enough to understand only the Bhur Loka frequency, that is the 5 sensory frequency. That is the Vibgyor color, audible range 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. So it is only able to understand those frequencies. So now your parallel self in the Tapo Loka is a Saptarishi. So that happens whenever you meditate too much. That is, it happened to me also. In Chicago, when I was meditating very much, like 3 hours straight, 4 hours straight, complete sadhana of Kali, Mahavidyas and all. What happened was my left brain became so evolved enough to understand those Tapo Loka. So I woke up for a few seconds in Tapo Loka, where I was a Rishi similar to Vishwamitra. So I was a Vishwamitra in the Tapo Loka. Similarly, when you meditate, you may wake up as some Rishi in the Tapo Loka. But it requires a lot of meditation. It doesn't happen so easily. Maybe like 3 hours for 5 months, 1 year, continuous meditation. That is 3 hours per day or something. That time you will get results. It doesn't happen immediately, because your left brain is accustomed to only the 5 sensory frequencies right now. And similarly, when you descend right from the Tapo Loka, that is Mahar Loka, Jana Loka. So in Jana Loka, you have the divine family. What I mean by divine family is, in Jana Loka, you have Ganapati as your younger brother, and you have Shiva as your father, Parvati as your mother, and finally Vishnu as your uncle. Vishnu, uncle, Lakshmi as your aunt. That is Shiva's younger brother. Vishnu is Shiva's younger brother, and Lakshmi is younger brother's wife, that is aunt. So that is what is there in Jana Loka. So here in Jana Loka, which is like parallel to Go Loka, where Krishna created Vrindavan, an artificial cosmic causal Vrindavan. And here near that Jana Loka is Kailasha. Kailasha meaning where Shiva fell in love with his own Shakti form, that is Parvati. So he has created a causal Kailasha, not the original one that you see in Bhur Loka. He has created a causal Kailasha where he is living with his family right now also. That is Shankar Mahadev, Parvati, Ganapati, Subrahmanya, Nandi, all are living there in Kailasha, causal Kailasha. So there we are living the parallel life near the Jana Loka. Jana Loka is where all the deities exist. So all the puranas that we talk about, right? In Hinduism there are a lot of puranas, and all the stories which we tell to the kids, small kids, it's not a fictional story. It is really happening in the causal realm. And just for our subconscious to understand those two stories are told since childhood. Whenever a kid is born in India as a Hindu, he is told all the Puranas by his mother or grandmother, because the deities want that kid to remember his parallel self. The deities want all the humans, whoever is born in India or whoever is born as a Hindu, whoever is interested as a Hindu, they want that Puranas to be known to the humans so that they remember their parallel self in the Jana Loka. Because in Jana Loka that is going on, all the Puranas are going on in cyclic form, similar to how in Bhur Loka there is cycle of yugas, that is Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Similarly in the Jana Loka those Puranas are going on. Bhagavata Purana, Shiva Purana, Kalki Purana, all that Purana is going on in the Jana Loka. And as we descend, there is Mahar Loka. In Mahar Loka, there are enlightened beings. Enlightened beings meaning who have transcended the earthly realm, like Ramana Maharshi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Yogananda, Vivekananda. So all those are there in the Mahar Loka. So they are living their parallel life. In earth, they were the character Ramakrishna, they were the character Ramana Maharshi and all that, but they have now transcended and they are living their parallel self in the Mahar Loka. Again, when we descend from Mahar Loka, we get Swaha Loka, that is Swarga Loka. Swarga Loka is where Indra Dev is there. All the Tattva Devatas like Indra, Agni, Vayu, Varuna, Jala and Bhudevi. So all are there in the Swarga Loka. So in Swarga Loka, we have our parallel self which is controlling all the earth's elements, Panchabhutas. So that is there in the astral. So there we control the Panchabhutas like air, water, earth, fire, ether. So that is where our consciousness is creating more Maya, that is the physical realm. That is where the physical realm starts, when the Tattva Devatas create the Panchabhuta system, that is the 5 elements. That is where the Lakshmi inside us starts creating physical realm as Tripura Bhairavi, as told in the previous video. So if you go more below is the Bhuvah Loka. Bhuvah Loka is where the astral realm starts. So in the Bhuvah Loka, there is the transition between Bhur Loka, physical realm, and the Bhuvah Loka, the astral realm. So that transition exists, also called as Pitru Loka. So in the middle of Bhur and Bhuvah, there is Pitru Loka. So Pitru Loka is where our ancestors who have not yet transcended are like trying to transcend. If their karma is not complete in the physical realm, they come back from the Pitru Loka to the down below lokas. If it is complete, they go to the above, that is Bhuvah Loka, the higher solar system. So Bhuvah Loka is where the astral realm starts. So that is where the astral beings exist. So astral beings' job is to resolve the earthly karma. That is, they will have certain earthly karma, but since they don't want to go back to the earth as babies, they are trying to resolve it on their own by meditating under gurus. So in the Bhuvah Loka, there are many gurus. As you saw in chapter 43 of Yogananda, there is Hiranya Loka, which is very beautiful, always spring, beautiful mountains where we can create rivers, mountains, flowers, mangoes. That is to resolve your earthly desires. For example, let's say your favorite sweet was Rasgulla. So once you transcend, you don't have the lower chakras, that is Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura. You don't have those 3 chakras, due to which you can't eat it physically. It is physically you can't eat, through the 5 sensory nerve system you can't eat it. However, in the astral body you have Anahata, Vishuddha, Ajna and Sahasrara. So you're eating Rasgulla through your Anahata itself, that Anahata chakra of love. You're creating Rasgulla through your love and you're eating it. So that is what is happening in the Hiranya Loka or the Bhuvah Loka. So in the astral planets, you are resolving the earthly desires forever so that you can transcend to the Swarga Loka. That is where Indra and all the Tattva Devatas are there. So that is how we resolve all the left out remaining earthly karmas. And when we come below, when we descend below, we are entering the Bhur Loka, where the humans exist. So the epitome of evolution in Bhur Loka is humans. So below humans are all the amphibians, reptiles, fishes, plants, animals, birds. So all those are below humans in evolutionary scale. But if you plan on indulging more in the sexual desire, you go to the Atal Loka. If you indulge more in the richness, that is of Manipura Chakra, the power, desire for power, money, fame, if you are indulged in that, then you go to the Vittal Loka. Similarly, as you feel more guiltier, as you become more cunning, you go to the below and below lokas. Atal, Vittal, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasutal, Patal. Finally, when you are like very guilty and you want to resolve all the karmas of the physical realm, you go to Naraka, where you are resolving it through guilt. So that is how the solar system works. That is how you have parallel lives in different solar systems. That is, the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, our highest self inside the Maya, is dreaming of the 14th solar system, habitable solar system. There are several solar systems which are not habitable, so I am not talking about those. This way, there are many universes and many causal beings are dreaming of different lokas. The thing is, our universe, right, our Garbhodaksha Vishnu is dreaming of the 14 lokas, but I am not sure of what the other Garbhodaksha Vishnus are dreaming. There is other causal beings might be having different strands of universe, and it might not be similar to ours. For example, in those solar systems, the Swadhisthana Chakra might be above, Manipura might be below, or the Anahata might be below, Sahasrara might be in the middle. So we don't know what the other strands of universe, other Garbhodaksha Vishnus, that is the causal beings, are dreaming. So we will not look into that in this video. We will look into that maybe some other day. But I am just talking about our parallel lives that is being created by our Garbhodaksha Vishnu, our causal being. So whoever is there in this universe, right, our causal body is one, that is the Narayana. And he is same for everyone. Even I am Narayana, even you are Narayana, everyone is Narayana in our highest self, which is inside the Maya. And what I meant by the divine family was the Jana Loka, where our younger brother is Ganapati, our father is Shiva, that is the Shankar Mahadev form, our mother is Parvati, and our uncle is Vishnu, and our aunt is Lakshmi, and our uncle's best friend Narada Muni, and our uncle's Duta, that is Hanuman, uncle's Vahana, that is Garuda, and our father's Vahana, that is Nandi. So we have another uncle also, that is Brahma, and Brahma's daughter Saraswati. So that is our divine family in the Jana Loka. So Jana Loka, why I highlighted in this video was because I wanted you to know who you are in the Jana Loka. Guess who? I'll give you maybe 10 seconds to guess who you are in the Jana Loka. All of us are the same person in the Jana Loka. So I will give you time. Okay, are you ready with your answer? So in the Jana Loka, we are nothing but the greatest warrior, Kartikeya Subrahmanya, also called as Murugan or Saravana. So we are Kartikeya Subrahmanya in the Jana Loka. All of us, all the humans are Kartikeya Subrahmanya in the Jana Loka. But in Tapo Loka we are different. In Tapo Loka we are different Saptarishi. However, in Jana Loka we are Subramanya. We are living the life of Subramanya with Ganapati being our younger brother and all that cosmic family. That is the reason why I highlighted the divine family in this video, because I wanted you to remember your parallel life. So what happened was, when your consciousness descended from the Vaikunta, that is the Garbhodaksha Vishnu form, when it descended to the Jana Loka, when you were Kartikeya Subramanya, your mom and dad, that is Shiva and Parvati, they held a competition, they organized a competition where you were competing with your younger brother, that is Ganapati. And when you were competing with your younger brother, the competition's goal was to revolve around the entire universe once. So whoever revolves around the entire universe and comes back to the starting point, that is the Kailasha, wins the race. So that was the whole point of the competition. So guess who won the competition? Our younger brother, he won the competition. It is Ganapati. He outsmarted us. He just revolved around his own parents, that is Shankar Mahadev and Parvati in the Kailasha Parvata. He just revolved, and we went around the entire universe, that is Currently we are in the Bhur Loka, living as humans. So I just want to wake you up. Hello, hello, wake up in the Jana Loka. You are living your descended life here. The competition is still not over. Ganapati has won the competition, however, you are still revolving around the universe. So that's why I wanted to wake you up in this video. Hello. So this is a wake up call, guys. The Subramanya inside us has been fooled by the Maya. That is, he's still revolving around the Bhur Loka, Bhuvah Loka, Swarga Loka, Mahar Loka. Now we have to go back to the Jana Loka where Kailasha Parvata is there. Now we have to go back by taking the help of our mothers, that is Mahavidyas, and the fathers, that is Krishna, Bhairava, Rudra, Shiva, Shankar Mahadev. So we have to take the help of our mothers and fathers and go back to our ascended, that is the highest form in the Jana Loka as Subramanya. And we have to accept our defeat because Ganapati will be there in the Jana Loka after the competition. He'll be like, bro, where were you? So he'll make fun of us. So be ready to be made fun of. So he'll be like, bro, what happened, bro? Why are you so late? So he'll make fun of, he'll roast you and he'll get angry. So that's why be ready to get roasted by Ganapati because the Subramanya has still not finished the race and you are that Subramanya. We are that Subramanya. When will we realize that we still didn't complete revolving around the universe? So that is the whole point of the story, which you were told in childhood, which all the Hindu, Sanatana, Dharmic people were told in their childhood about this competition. I know everyone of us knows about this story and the story has deeper meaning. What that story means is your causal form Subramanya descended himself to revolve around the universe, thinking that he can win the competition. But the whole competition was to just love your mom and dad. That was the whole point of the competition, just to believe, just to rely, just to have complete faith and bhakti on your mom and dad. And you failed. You failed to show your bhakti on Shiva and Parvati. That is why you are here now. You are living the life of a human. So that is why this video is a wake-up call to remind yourself that you are the son of Shiva and Parvati. So wake up as soon as possible and go back to your causal self, that is Subramanya. Kartikeya, Subrahmanya, Murugan, Skanda, Saravana, whoever, whatever name you have been given in the Kailasha. So it's a wake-up call to wake up in the Kailasha Parvat. So what to do now? How to go back to Kailasha? How to go back to our causal self Subramanya? So in order to go back to our causal self Subramanya, we have to do sadhana. Sadhana of the Shiva Tattvas and the Shakti Tattvas. Shakti Tattvas being the Mahavidyas in all our chakra and Shiva Tattvas being the male deities in all our chakra. That is Bhairava, Krishna, Ganapati and Rudra, Shankar Mahadev. So we have to meditate upon them so that we can go back to our original self in the Jana Loka. So we have to do sadhana, Ghor sadhana, so that we will wake up from our human self, we will leave this human self and go to the Jana Loka. So that is why all those puranas and Vedas were given in the Bhur Loka. That is why Krishna, that is our uncle's playful form, came to the Bhur Loka to give out the Vedas through Veda Vyasa, through Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So our uncle is trying to do everything so that you can go back to your original self. There is our uncle Vishnu is trying to help us to go back to meet our mother and father. Our uncle is worried. He's like, bro, why did you go so far to revolve around the Maya? Your own mom and dad are the universe, are the creators of the universe. So come back. So that's why Krishna gave out the Bhagavad Gita to compress the Vedas so that the Subramanya inside you gets awakened. So let us all wake up from this deep dream in the Bhur Loka and ask forgiveness to our mother and father, the divine mother Parvati and the divine father Shankar Mahadev. So let us ask for the forgiveness and request them to take us back to Kailasha. We all know Ganapati will make fun, so be ready for getting roasted by Ganapati. However, we have to go back. because the competition is going on too long and everyone are waiting there because they have finished the competition, everything is done, all are celebrating Ganapati's victory there, and you are still revolving around the universe. So let us go back and stop this Maya from reoccurring. You are the Maya creator, you are the Vishnu, you are the uncle who created all this dream. And finally, let us all stop this dream by going back to our original form, Sada Shiva, the dreamless, thoughtless state of consciousness. So I hope I have brought some light to your consciousness. Thanks for watching. We'll meet in the next video. Jai Mahakal.